What's up, you guys? Welcome back into iHeartRadio's official wrestling podcast, the Battleground Podcast. It is Battle from Rock 102 right here in Memphis. And of course, wrestling, it's coming back. WWE returns Friday Night SmackDown to the FedEx Forum February 7th, live and broadcasting to the world. You're going to be able to see all your favorite superstars. Tickets starting at the low price below $20. You can grab them at Ticketmaster.com. And one of the favorite superstars that you're going to be seeing is one of our favorite superstars, a friend of the show. Everybody give it up for some Mr. L.A. Knight.
Yeah, everybody's favorite. Here he is. Look, man, I'm actually amazed at what you just said. The low price of under $20 with as in demand as the shows have been, and with how much we're selling out and whatnot. That is one of the things that I do want to applaud TKO. Not to sound like a big company, man, but that is one thing that they've done is they've made sure that it's still affordable for everybody, so everybody can still come out to the shows, even if floor seats might increase in prices and things like that. But we're making sure everybody can get in the game.
Absolutely. And you gotta applaud WWE and TKO and everybody, because you watch everything with Raw on Netflix, with NXT on CW. You've got SmackDown on USA. Like, the production and everybody has stepped their game up since January 1st of 2025.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's really become kind of a whole different game. Even, man, you talk about those like sweeping camera shots and things like that, and just the different it's a presentation that almost feels like you're coming back into like an NFL game or something like that when you come back in from the commercial break. So it's been cool. It's been different. But it's still somehow the same. And it's obviously hitting on a level that's keeping everybody involved, intrigued. And like I said, the arena's filled.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the one thing that's really cool that I've noticed about the production, like you said, the sweeping camera shots, how it returns back from commercial break, also adding drones flying in and out. Like, I would be worried that if I was a wrestler or something, that one of those drones might hit me or fall in the ring as I'm doing something.
Man, I mean, if it did, that would be a hell of a spot there to do something with that. I'd just pick that thing up, stomp it, throw it, whatever. I'd probably get in trouble for that. But if it's dropping in like that, I got no other choice. Right. At the same time, I'd be thinking, if I was a fan sitting out there, I'd be like, this damn thing better not come down on me. Just the shots they're getting even with that is just, it's crazy. It's really cool looking. I think they've been doing that more on Raw than they have on SmackDown, but still and in that Intuit Dome, if you saw that first episode on Netflix with all the lights and everything, each seat has like its own little LEDs and stuff. So, I mean, it was just a wild visual.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, right now we are on the road to WrestleMania, but of course we got to get to the Royal Rumble first. And this Friday night SmackDown at the FedEx Forum on February 7th will be the first SmackDown after the Royal Rumble. Now, a lot of people now have started to call their shots, and they're saying that they're going to put their name in the hat for the Royal Rumble. Is that part of LA Knight's plan to announce soon he'll be in the Royal Rumble?
My man, where have you been? I already announced it. Somebody ain't listening. Look, I kind of snuck it in a few weeks ago when I talked about getting my shot against Shinsuke a couple weeks ago. I had said, look, first I'm going to go ahead and reclaim my title, and then I'm going to go on and win the Royal Rumble. So just a little sneak in, and apparently it snuck right by you. But it's going to be happening. I'm going to be in there. I'm one of the confirmed entrants, and so me and 29 other guys are going to go at it for the shot at WrestleMania.
Well, we wish you nothing but the best for
I'm wishing
the Royal
you
Rumble.
nothing but the best.
We hope that at the end we're going to see LA Knight pointing to the WrestleMania sign once the Rumble is over in Indianapolis. And a really cool thing here recently, the big announcement: WWE and TNA announced a multi-year partnership, allowing talent exchanges between WWE and TNA. Given your history with TNA Impact, how do you feel about this collaboration, and what opportunities do you see arising from it?
I feel like it's a few years too late. This thing should have happened when I was there. It's unprecedented. I know WWE's had, partnerships with, All Japan, ECW and stuff like that. But this is so different in a way because TNA, although it was a very distant second place for a long time back in like the 2010s and whatnot, it was still like the only real competition for a long time. And so to now take one of those companies and to partner up, it's like such forbidden fruit in a sense. So it's pretty crazy to see. And then also just the idea that like now some of their people can come up and show up on our TV. Some of our people could show up on our TV, on their TV. It's clearly only mutually beneficial because then everybody wants to know what are the possibilities going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's been fun to watch because, you know, growing up in wrestling, I know WWE kind of stayed in their own little sandbox, but now they're inviting everybody to their sandbox. Like you said, it's a good thing for wrestling because it's putting more eyes on the product itself.
Sure. And I mean, look, there are some people who, you know, maybe there's plenty of people that I run into a lot of times who say, man, you know, you're one of the guys who got me back into watching again. And I'm sure that there are some people who also fell off from watching for years and years, but maybe they gravitated toward a TNA or something like that. And now it can maybe be another entryway for them to get back in where it's like, I got turned off for whatever reason at WWE at this point in time. I was watching TNA. I like them. And now maybe it's like, oh, I'm going to give them a look again. And 100% it's going to go back the other way as well, where it's people who weren't even aware of TNA or hadn't seen it in a long time. Now it's, oh, hey, let me check that out. So just again, it's that same idea of cross promotion, just bringing all kinds of possibilities that nobody thought before.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And of course, we've got LA Knight on with us. Friday Night SmackDown returns to the FedEx Forum February 7th.
Did I mention that Friday Night SmackDown is going to be at the FedEx Forum on February 7th? Tickets are still available.
Ticketmaster.com. Go get them. So I want to kind of go back to this because hey, we're vibing here, man. We're getting it going, and you know, I want to go back real quick. 2023 Crown Jewel. You face Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Universal WWE Championship. Reflecting on that match, what did you take away from that, and how has it influenced your approach to future title opportunities?
Well, the only thing I can take away from that is if you notice, I had Roman's shoulders pinned to the mat.
True.
He got his foot on the rope, not by his own, but by looking at Jimmy Uso coming out there and putting it on. So in that sense, you got to be ready for anything. You got to kind of have eyes in the back of your head, but at the same time, it's just a matter of rising to the occasion, which I think I did. But at the same time, there's still an ability to turn it up and even improve from there. So for me, it's just a matter of look. A lot of people have seen the different matches I've had throughout the time that I've been here. And I've gotten a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more as it's gone along to showcase my talents and what I can do out there. So with that being the case, I think there's going to be a right place and a right time to do that again. And this time come out on top.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're expecting to see that in the history books when it comes to WWE Undisputed Champions.
It's undeniable. See, that's the thing is for a long time, everybody's wanted to deny it, whether it's the company themselves or whether it's anybody else. And people wanted to not deny this for a long time, but you just can't. And that's why I made this whole damn thing happen. And that's why that was able to happen a year ago. And let me be honest, it was the wrong outcome. It was the wrong way to do things, but it doesn't matter to me. The bottom line is, look, I'm still moving forward, whether it's US Championship, World Championship, WWE Championship. It's going to happen because you can't stop it.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And, you know, the one cool thing you're seeing now with WWE, if you look at the past when celebrities would come in, they would just kind of be there. They wouldn't actually wrestle. They would take like a spot here or there. But you see somebody like a Logan Paul, who you have history with, somebody like a Bad Bunny, very notable names in the industry. How do you view their involvement? Excuse me. How do you view the involvement of celebrities in WWE, and how does it impact the wrestling industry?
It really depends. You got, I think personally, you got to be a little choosy with who's going to come in and get that physical involvement, just because of the fact that not everybody's got an athletic bone in their body. And if you go around to any wrestling school on any given day, you'll see a whole lot of that. You got to wonder, why do you think you could do this? Why are you doing this? Why are you even setting foot in a ring? You have not a single athletic bone in your body. Not everybody can do this. And so that's my one qualm with having too many celebrities do this, is that it gives people the idea that anybody can do this, and not anybody can do this. Very few people can do this and do it well. I will give credit to Logan Paul. He's a hell of an athlete. He can do a whole lot of crazy things that I wouldn't even dare do. But at the same time, he's able to find that aptitude and put it together. Who you mentioned, Bad Bunny, a guy who, look, if it's something that you've always been into your entire life, there's a chance. But the bottom line is you still have to be able to have that aptitude. You have to be able to have the physicality, the athleticism. And if you have that, sure, I say anybody, go ahead and do it. But you got to be realistic with yourself. Those two guys, at least you can say realistically, they did it. They pulled it off and they did it right.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just goes to show that they put in the time and effort to learn the craft and not just come in there. And I use this as an example. You go back to WrestleMania when Snooki wrestled and it was just like a brief second and then that was at the end.
Right. And that's one of the great examples. And no offense to my sweet Snooki out there. Never met her in my life. But look, that's another example of, like, I understand the idea. I understand the reasoning. We're doing cross promotion. But some people just don't belong in a ring, if I'm honest.
Yeah, for
sure. And even with a Bad Bunny, and even with a Logan Paul, as great as they did, they still have a long way to go.
Yeah, and you could tell that they put in the work, that they're not just there to collect a paycheck or be that celebrity influencer that jumps in. I mean, 100%. You look at them doing what they did at the pay-per-views and,
they are putting everything into it. So I got to say that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know that you spent some time back in the NWA, and I just want to take a quick second. I know recently we lost a friend of ours, Jack Stain.
Yeah.
I know you spent some time there with him in NWA. Do you have any cool moments or stories that you and Jack Stain had during your time?
Not necessarily. I think actually at the time that I was there, he wasn't there as much as actively. He was kind of in and out, but I mean, I had interacted with him, I think at Impact a few times and at NWA a few times. I don't have any particular stories, just an all around, just cool ass dude, just a good guy. Actually, if I'm honest, I think he's the one who hooked me up with a boot guy, because I really liked his boots at the time. And I was just like, man, who makes those? And he gave me the hookup, told me who. And so I think if I end up using the same guy, it might be his guy that's making those boots that everybody raves about.
Oh, nice. Again, Friday Night SmackDown is happening
February 7th, FedEx Forum. Tickets still available. You make sure you go out and get them. Where can you get them? Ticketmaster.com, everybody. Yeah.
Go get them. Go get them. Now, I've got a couple more questions before we wrap this up. One really cool moment that we saw when Lilian Garcia announced you to the ring when she did the LA Night. Yeah. What was that like? I mean, obviously having Lilian Garcia announce you to the ring, but then adding the yeah.
I had no idea it even happened. I didn't even notice until somebody tagged me on Instagram, and then I saw it. But there's backstory to this. So I went and did a dark match. Sometimes they have like the dark main events for opposing. They'll bring SmackDown people to come do Raw. They'll bring Raw people to come do SmackDown. So I went to do the dark main event at Raw maybe a month and a half, something like that ago. And it was one of the first weeks that Lilian had been back. And so she announced me as I'm coming down to the ring. And I had no intentions of cutting a promo or anything. I was just going to go in, do my match, and go back. And when she announced me, she was like, from Los Angeles, California, weighing in at 240 pounds, LA Night. And I was like, hold on. So I grabbed the microphone and I put over Lilian, and I was like, look, she's amazing. She's a legend. Everybody give her a hand. I said, but Lilian, I said, you got to do me one favor. I said, all you said was LA Night. And I said, no, you can't do that. I said, whatever town we were in, I was like, tell them how to say the name or tell them whose game this is or whatever it was. And the whole crowd then told her LA Night. Yeah. And so at that point, then once I won the match, then she said LA Night. That was that. I came out, did another dark match the next week. Again, LA Night. And I kind of gave her a point. I went up and did my thing. Okay, cool. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't know if she just got caught up in the moment. She was just feeling it extra that night because she went all the way with LA Night. Yeah. So then when I saw that on Instagram, I immediately sent that over to her, and I was like, did you mean to do this? And she was like, oh my God, no, I didn't even know I did it. I just came out naturally. So she was feeling that undeniable cavork of LA Night. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome because like my 7-year-old big wrestling fan, we'll just walk around and we'll be sitting in the house and he'll just walk up to me and says, "Hey, Dad," and he just does this, and I already
Yeah,
know what he's doing, and it's a cool thing to have this relationship with my son of watching wrestling like me and my dad, and like I told him that we were interviewing him to do today, and he was like, "Who are you interviewing today?" And I said, "LA Knight," and he said, "Yeah," and then he just goes to his room. I'm
I
like,
love it.
okay. Last question before we let you go. We always like to have a little fun at the end of these interviews. You've got a mic in your hand. You're face to face with one legend from the past. Who is it? And what is the one thing LA Knight would say to them to create an unforgettable moment?
I'm not sure I can share that with you because this might happen at some point.
Ooh.
So I don't want to show my cards. I don't want to show my hand. But word on the streets is there may be an interaction with somebody at some point. I don't want to spoil it.
Just watch Friday Night SmackDown live from the FedEx Forum, February 7th.
Every single week. And if you're in that Memphis area, and even if you're not, get a plane, take a bus, a train, drive yourself, get there, get your tickets, and be there to see this man. Who? LA Knight. Yeah.